Hello gang, welcome back. I am so excited for today's episode because we are going to be talking about the quickest way to get to your fat loss goal. And this is specifically relevant for desk workers, for ladies who work 9 to 5. Tip number five is going to be a game changer. So stick with me and we're going to go through these 6 steps to get into your fat loss goal as quick as possible. So number 1 is cut through the noise. I am so done with seeing a million different videos on Instagram. Don't do this. This is the wrong way. Blah, blah, blah. All you're doing is overwhelming yourself. And I do it too. Like when it comes to business, when it comes to finances, when it comes to even what hair products or makeup products to buy. It's like I will go to the depths of the internet trying to research, trying to find the perfect product. And the truth is with fat loss is there is no magic fix. At some point, this is probably going to take some uncomfortable, difficult work that you have been avoiding, and hence why you are at this point now where you want to lose weight. And so the work is there, it's in the thing that you're avoiding. And so that's okay to admit that it's going to feel hard, whether that is taking the car less so you get more steps in, whether it's embedding exercise into your routine more consistently, whether it's challenging the snacking in between meals, whatever it is for you, being more mindful of your portions. The truth is, nothing changes if nothing changes. If you're at a point where you want to lose weight, there's probably something in your life that is going to have to change. You probably already know what that is. And so I think even with the jabs, people will see these as an easy way out, but actually, arguably it's going to be harder because at the other end of it, you're still going to have to do the thing that the jabs made easy for a while, and then you're going to have to trust yourself to be able to continue doing that without having built the skill over time and without having learned to tune into your body's cues. And so figure out what needs to change and start there. Number 2 is trust the process. So kind of going back to number 1, stop overwhelming yourself with information online, stop overwhelming yourself with what Kathy in the office said worked best for her. Stop trying to find the perfect solution. Find something that feels doable for you and stick to it. Stick to it for 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, long enough to start seeing results, because the main thing that people do is they give up right before they're about to start seeing the payoff of what they've been working towards. And so 0 to 1 is the hardest part. 1 to 100 is usually much easier. It's just getting over that initial jump where you are not going to see the payoff of what you are doing and you need to keep doing it anyway. You need to trust the process. You're getting your steps in, you're eating better and all of these things. Trust that you are going to see the trade-off at some point. So yeah, if you're not sure what it is that you need to do, or you're not sure which route to go down, you probably already know where your biggest weakness is, and the results are probably in the thing that you are avoiding. However, if you're not sure if it's your portion sizes, if you're not sure that your snacks in between meals are what's holding you back, count your calories for a little bit and see what a calorie deficit would look like for you based on your body. I have a link to a free calorie calculator in the description if you want to use that, and then calculate how many calories you're eating and see how far you're off you are. That will tell you something. Or if you're not doing any consistent exercise right now, or your step count is below 6,000 on a daily basis, then start there and trust the process. You probably already know what you need to do, you just need to close the gap. That's essentially what coaching is, helping you close that gap between knowing what you need to do and actually executing it consistently. Because again, most people know what to do, they're just not doing it. And so with the assurance that you're following a plan that makes sense, the accountability to stick to it, and without you having to constantly figure out everything, you can outsource that information. Coaching is exactly that. And if that's something that you're interested in, I'll put a link in the description so you can learn more about my coaching program. So number 3, consistency over perfection, but that's not what you think, right? I don't want you to just take that and be like, oh my God, I've heard that a million times on the internet. Yes, consistency over perfection, but the way we're going to do this is specific. I think this phrase gets used in a way that doesn't really help people. I want you to write out a list of the things that you've had a good day outside of your 9 to 5. And so I mean like a realistic day. I don't mean a fantasy, but what you think at the end of the day, if you did all those things, you'd be like, yeah, that was a good day. So for me, it's movement first thing. It's not scrolling my phone as soon as I wake up or right before bed. It's getting plants protein and water in 3 to 4 times a day. It's getting outside during the middle of the day. It's having an interaction with a family member or a friend or a loved one. It's going to the gym or doing a run, unless it's a rest day. It's clearing my messages before bed. All of these things that if I can do all of those things, I'll go to bed and I'll be like, yeah, it's been a pretty good day. Now, some days I won't be able to do all of those things, and that's okay. That doesn't have to spiral into any write-offs or anything like that. It just means that one thing got missed, but how many other things on that list can I get done? Not because it's a way to get from A to B, but because that's what makes me feel good, and that's what's going to be low enough to feel achievable, but high enough to move the needle forward. And those are the habits that give me the energy and the headspace to actually make everything else feel easier, right? I want you to do the same thing. So what are the things that, if you did them most days, would make you feel like you're looking after yourself and you've got that headspace and you've got that consistency that makes you feel good? And then just try to do those things every day. But if one slips, don't panic, just do the others. Number 4, keep things simple. This is particularly important if you are working a busy 9 to 5, because the more variety you try to add, the slower the fat loss often becomes. And the reason for this is because you're just adding more decisions into the mix, more things to think about, which is more opportunity to get it wrong, right? And make a choice from an emotional place because you're tired or you're hungry or you're exhausted. And so if you can rotate staple ingredients and create meals you enjoy with them. I'm not saying they have to be the same meals all the time. You can still get creative with seasoning, spices, and veggies and stuff like that. But you'll find the more simple the meal times become, and the more you'll feel like you're in a consistent routine. And then as a byproduct, you will see the results, because again, fat loss is a byproduct of a good routine, and fixing the routine and fixing the lifestyle and fixing the things that got you to where you are in the first place is going to be so much more effective than finding the most perfect intermittent fasting plan on the internet and not being able to stick to it 4 days out of the week, okay? Because you're exhausted. Okay, number 5, the big one, keep things the same or as similar as possible over the weekend. This doesn't mean you can't enjoy your weekends. It doesn't mean you can't go out. It doesn't mean you can't have a drink and go for a meal and do all the things that you like to do. But again, going back to those things that make you feel good on a day-to-day basis, they need to try and stay the same in the weekends. So again, like me, plants, protein and water 3 to 4 times a day, waking up and not scrolling on my phone. Those are so much easier to put to the side on a weekend. And I know if I do that, I will feel worse off as a result. And I will feel like I've fallen out of my good routine and my consistent cycle, and I will feel like, oh, I need to get back on it. Whereas if I can keep those good habits in place, I'll feel so much better come Monday or come Sunday night. So think about your meal structure. Think about your wake up times and your bed times. Think about where are you putting your exercise in the day? Think about where are you finding time for joy or to interact with loved ones in the day, and when are you taking time for rest? If you can still tick all those boxes over the weekend, you won't feel like you have to start again on Monday. So try to steady the pendulum swing between what the weekdays look like and what the weekends look like. That is a big one. The quicker you can do that, the quicker you're going to see results, because you're going to be consistent and not in that stop-start yo-yo cycle. And finally, number 6 is, if this feels like a lot, and if this feels like you still got to the end of this video and you're like, I'm still not quite sure what I need to be doing, get a coach, ask for help. I probably couldn't do your job. You are probably very good at what you do, and that is why you are in the role that you are in, and why you're so busy and why you're so tired and why you've not got the headspace to think about all this is because you have your specialities and I have mine. I couldn't do your job. Why should you be able to do my job? Outsource the thinking. Make sure that the plan you are following is efficient. Make sure that you're not wasting your time. Make sure that the meals and all the things that you have to plan, that can be done for you. And so if that's something that you feel like you would benefit from, then again, there's a link in the description where you can learn a little bit more about what coaching looks like. But ultimately, at the end of the day, there's a very big gap between knowing what to do and actually doing it. You probably already know the basics of fat loss. You know you need to move more and eat less, and the snacking at the desk isn't helping and all those things. You know you need to be consistent, but information isn't the problem, it's implementation, right? And this is why having a coach can massively speed things up. You have assurance in the plan, you have accountability, and you can outsource the thinking. You don't need to spend the evenings worrying about whether your calories need to be changed or whether you did the right workout for toning your arms. You don't have to constantly question about what you saw online or what you heard someone doing is better than what you're doing. You've got someone who can look at where you are, identify your biggest gap, and tell you what you need to focus on, and then you just execute. So that's how you make fat loss more efficient, not by finding some secret method, but by removing the things that are slowing you down and investing in something that can speed you up. So if you're a desk worker and you want to see fat loss results quicker than you already are, then visit the link in my description or drop me a DM on Instagram at Natalie Louise Coaching. And remember, cut through the noise, trust the process, create your version of consistency, keep things simple, keep your weekends similar, and reach out to a coach if you're still struggling. Because you probably don't need any more information at this point. You need to close the gap between knowing what you need to do and actually doing it. And that is something that I help 9 to 5 women do.